Let's look at some examples of applicants who would succeed and applicants who would fail under the new Innovator Founder rules. So I'm just going to go through this with you now. So under innovation and viability and scalability, we've got the same tests that are being applied, but a fresh view by the Home Office of which ideas and which approaches are going to succeed and which ones won't. Bear in mind, of course, that in a recent quarter, the refusal rates after being endorsed were almost 50%. So about half of people who'd got endorsed were then refused by the Home Office. So the Home Office is definitely applying its own independent view, even if someone has been endorsed. So business plan proposals that should not be considered as meeting the innovative standard, says the Home Office, include where the innovation element and associated research, design or implementation is largely outsourced to a third-party provider. Then generic businesses with only incidental innovation, for example, a taxi or cleaning company with an app. So if the app or web app is secondary, in other words, it's a traditional business, but it has an app, that's not going to fly anymore. So let's just have a look at an example of what the Home Office deems to meet the innovation criteria under the Innovator Founder visa. An applicant is part of a founding team spinning out a venture from a university research program that's commercializing a new engine efficiency technology. The applicant can clearly articulate what the company's R&D proposition looks like, can demonstrate a strong case for how their technology is new to the market, and presents a clear route to commercialization. So that's consistent with some of my clients who've done spin-outs of universities. I really like it where there's a partnership with a university, just from credibility perspective. Also, but let's have a look at one that would not meet the innovation endorsement criteria, or would be unlikely to in the Home Office's own view. An applicant as a sole founder wants endorsement to set up a quote EdTech company where the innovation proposition is based on a quote artificial intelligence focused platform that will teach a subject to under 18s. The applicant has no background in AI and has no supporting team member with competence in the field. An applicant can say what the product is they want to ultimately sell, but has no specific grasp of how that would be achieved at a technical level, and instead will outsource all of the technical development in delivering this innovation to a third-party company to build the product on their behalf. Now it seems to be a sort of a higher threshold, or applying a higher threshold. Just one quick point on the partnerships. Partnerships are not always straightforward, or rather they cut two ways. I always prefer cases where it's a sole founder, they 100% own and control their companies. That's certainly the case with almost all of my clients. They 100% own and control their companies. As soon as you have a co-founder, then it introduces a bunch of complications. If the co-founder is also applying for a visa, that introduces a whole host of additional potential complications, not least of which when it comes to the success criterion. Now, so far, all of my indefinite leave to remain applications for innovators have gone through. I've done 7 or 8 now, and but it is so much more straightforward if it's just you. So when they talk about founders, be very careful. Co-founders or partners, be careful about sacrificing any equity. I wouldn't do it. But when they're talking about partners here in the broader sense, you can have an advisory panel, for example, with partners. You can have a commercial partnership or profit share agreement and so on without sacrificing equity, to state the obvious. And that's, often going to be the best solution. But when, again, you can see from their language here that they've had it. It's not enough just to augment your business idea with something to do with EdTech or something to do with AI, especially when you don't have the technical background yourself. So here really the thresholds are coming closer to the global talent thresholds. And therefore, you should be thinking, if you can satisfy these criteria, you should be thinking about, whether you should be applying for global talent, which is generally going to be, if you can get, endorsed by global talent at Still Tech Nation at the moment, then that's going to be more straightforward for you. You won't have the red tape at the end of the process with showing that you've met the thresholds under the business plan. In other words, that you've done what you've promised you would do in the business plan. So really, really important illumination there on the Home Office's approach to innovation under the new Innovator Founder Visa. Please bear this in mind if you're looking at applying under this route, or if you're switching onto it from either the old Innovator Visa, or if you're making a switch from the Startup Visa. Either way, I'd be very happy to help you. Either way, I'd be very happy to help you. So feel free to get in touch. You can get me on the contact details below and schedule a consultation call with me. Bye for now.